cos like 0 to 180 is 180 we get like this. So at 0 the value is 1, this is minus 1, the graph we are going to get like this. Am I right? Right, this is cos. So cos x from 0 to pi. Then what is cos inverse? Cos inverse or else we can simply written as arc cos x. So y is equal to arc nothing but cos inverse x. Okay. So we are coming to the cos x, the domain I am taking like 0 to pi. The input is nothing but x values are 0 to pi. Then y values are this is domain. Then range is equal to minus 1 to 1. Right. So coming to the cos inverse arc or else we can write cos inverse of x. Both will be same. Again here. So x-axis, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, okay, y-axis, this is 0. And what about here? Anyone? Can anyone tell to me x value becomes y value and y value becomes x value? So x-axis, this is y-axis origin. Right, what are the x values? 0, 90, 180. This is pi by 2. 0, 90, 180 are x values. Then inverse, the x values becomes y value, that is here it is 90, here it is 180. Then so the y value becomes x value. Nothing but domain becomes codomain and codomain becomes domain. So nothing but here minus 1 to plus 1. Y values you can take on x axis, x value you can take on y axis. So finally, so what about here? Now, cos inverse x value, cos inverse of minus 1. If I substitute in place of x minus 1, so what is cos inverse of minus 1? It should be what? 180. But the opposite, cos inverse of minus 1 is equal to what? If I take pi here, take cos minus 1 is equal to cos pi. If we take inverse, the cos inverse right side, it will become cos. So cos pi value is minus 1. Am I right? So finally, what about here? Cos 0. If I take x value is 0 here, y value is 1. I mean, uh, y value becomes cos inverse means that value becomes 0 only. Y value 0 means lies on the x axis, right? So when sorry, this value is what? Cos inverse of 0, it is 90. Sorry, cos inverse of minus 1 is 180, theta value is 180, then cos inverse of 0 is 90. Cos inverse of 0 is equal to what? 90. Take cos inverse right side, cos 90 is equal to 0. Cos 90 clearly 0 at this point. And what about here? Cos inverse 1. Cos inverse 1 is equal to what? 1 is equal to what? 0. Because take cos right side 1 is equal to cos 0. Right? So like this point. Okay. Joining all this point by a smooth curve, we are going to get like this. We are going to get like this. Okay. So this is the cos inverse. I restricted the domain from minus infinity to here minus infinity to plus infinity. I restricted as from 0 to pi. Not only 0 to pi, not only 0 to pi, you can take a pi to 2 pi, 2 pi to 3 pi, 3 pi to 4 pi. Okay, not only like left side also, minus 182, so minus pi to 0, so minus 2 pi to pi, minus pi, like that. In each and every interval, the cos inverse is existed. Because in each and every this interval, the cos is 1, 1 and on 2, so that cos inverse is exist. But why should we take that the principal domain as 0 to pi? That is the least value. So you can consider the least positive value as a principal value of branch. So here I am considering here 0 comma pi as principal value branch. Principal value branch. Okay, nothing but what is the domain of this? Domain is clearly equal to minus 1 to 1. X values. What is the range of this function? Range of this function 0 to 0 to 180. Am I right? So domain is minus 1 to 1. Range means y value. So 0 to 180. So this whatever the range is there, that is called principal value branch, not domain. Not domain. We can consider the principal value branch as a range. Range of principal value branch is 0, comma pi. So what is the principal value branch of sine inverse? So that is clearly what? Minus 92 plus 90. That is closed interval, right? So next coming to the tan. Let us see the tan function and tan inverse. Okay, y is equal to tan x. Okay, what is the domain of tan x? Domain. I clearly told you that what is the domain?
R minus 2
R
n
Yes,
minus 2n
r
plus
minus
1 pi
2n
by
plus
2.
1 to pi by 2. N belongs to Z, I said. But here also, if you take like the domain as R minus, like infinite value, it should not be 1, 1 and on 2 again. It should not be 1, 1 and on 2. So actually, what is the tan graph? Graph of the tan function is that x-axis, y-axis. See, the questions, NCRT questions are very, very easy questions. Don't think about that inverse. Very, very easy. But only the thing is graphical representation is very important for JE point of view. I'm not explaining for it is JE point of view. It is very important. So like okay, 180, 180, 3 pi by 2, and here it is minus 90, minus 180, and minus 3 pi by 2. So nothing but here domain is minus infinity to plus infinity. That is nothing but r other than this 90, 270, minus 90, minus 270. So remaining all values, the tan is existed. Because see, tan 0 is what? 0. What is tan 90? Anyone? Tan 90.
Right. Not defined, sir.
Yes. Tan 90 is clearly infinite. Am I right? Undefined. So like that it will tends to like that infinity. Minus infinity. Okay, then what is tan minus 90? It will almost tends to minus infinity. Undefined values. At 90, exactly 90. So, right, minus 90 to 90, we are getting one loop of the tan x. So, in the same way, what about tan 180? Tan 180. So, it is negative value to, see, 0 to 90, first quadrant positive. Okay, then 90 to 180, second quadrant tan is negative. That I told you clearly. This is the graph. Then 270 means 180 to 270, third quadrant tan is positive. Like that we'll get. So now look at here. So the curve should not touch the value at 3 pi by 2. It will tend to infinity. In the same way here also we are getting that for every 180 we are getting the loop like this. So, but here clearly it is a function. If you draw the vertical line anywhere, it will be a function. But if you draw the vertical horizontal line, see, it will meet the given tan x at infinite points. So again, it is not 1, 1. So we can restrict the domain. We can restrict the domain so that minus infinity to plus infinity, we can take it like finite interval. So finite interval, I am going to take here. Can I restrict this? You know very well. So the graph of tan x. So I want to restrict here. See here, that is the reason I written dots at the 90. 90 means the tan x does not exist. Minus 90 does not exist because tan infinity is undefined. Okay, tan 90 is undefined. So because infinity will get 270 also undefined. So like that. So here I want to restrict from minus infinity to infinity as just minus 90 to plus 90 value. That's it. So after that, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Fine. I restricted the domain minus 90 to plus 90. Then what about inverse? Inverse function. I restricted that minus infinity plus infinity. Then if you see that tan inverse x, clearly I told you that what is the domain? Domain here I am taking in tan x. After restriction, I am taking like minus 90 to 90. This is domain. What is the range? Range is what? Anyone? Same range is what? Minus 90 nothing but minus infinity. Okay, it is clearly it's better to write like a open interval. So we should not write closed bracket for infinity plus infinity. Okay, because tan minus 90 is minus infinity plus 90 is plus infinity. Okay, fine. Now inverse. When inverse, I told you clearly, range becomes domain. Range becomes domain. Domain is what? Minus 90 to 90. Then range is what? Range is nothing but domain. So that is open interval minus 90 to 90. So this is called the principal value of branch. Let us see that graphical representation. Graphical representation. X values you can take on y axis, y value you can take as on x axis. Okay, what are the x values? Minus 90 to plus 90. Okay, so minus 90 to plus 90. Okay, x values I am taking on y axis. Now y values you can take on x axis. So that is nothing but here minus infinity to plus infinity. So minus infinity to plus infinity. Then if you draw the graph, you are going to get like this. So what about the graph here? We are going to get like. So it should not cross. It should not cross pi by 2. It should not cross minus pi by 2. So the range is minus 90 to plus 90. This range is called principal value branch. So these three are important. These three are important. For example, in case they are asking the principal value branch of the, for example, cosecant inverse. Cosecant inverse means first you should find the sine inverse. Okay, sine inverse, cosecant inverse will be same. Just I will explain you. Okay. Then in the same way, cot inverse, tan inverse, cos inverse, secant inverse. Clear? So I will write all the cases because in case if they ask any principal value branch of secant inverse, you can convert it into cos. In case if they ask the principal value branch of cot inverse, you can convert it into tan. Cosecant inverse, change it to sine. That we will see many problems are there. Okay, so in textbook. So this is a graphical representation of sine, cos, tan. You have to remember this. You have to remember. And next, I need to write here principal value branches of all the trigonometric functions. Right? Clear? Are having any doubts here?
No, sir.
So finally, let us write sine inverse x. What is the domain? Domain and range. So what about domain here? Minus 1 to 1. So what is the range here? Closed interval minus 90 to 90 because sine minus 90 minus 1. Sine 90 is 1. Like that. Then what about cos inverse of x? Since we know that minus 1 comma 1 only. And here it is closed interval 0 comma 180. Now see here cos 180 is minus 1, cos 0 is 1. So here whenever you write the interval, so according to the value you can write. Least value always left side, highest value always right side. Like that you can write. So don't think that cos 0 is minus 1, cos 180 is plus 1. Not like that. Least value, highest value. Least value, highest value. So then coming to tan inverse x from what is the domain? Domain.
Minus infinity.
Tan inverse. Or minus infinity to, see here, domain means minus infinity to infinity, nothing but real number. Or, then what about the y values? Minus 92 plus 90. We should not take here closed interval. Remember, many of the students, they are doing this mistake only. It's not closed interval, because we cannot consider, if you take closed interval means include 90. What is tan 90? Undefined. So that we can exclude the endpoints. Open interval. In the same way, like cot inverse of x will be there. Then cot inverse x also, domain will be real number from minus infinity to infinity. So, but what about the range? Range means this value. Sine is closed interval, tan is open interval. And cos is closed interval, cot is open interval. C will be same, but cos inverse closed, this is open. Then remaining secant inverse. Secant inverse of x. Secant inverse of x. So what about the domain that we know that other than this value? Other than this value, like the secant inverse doesn't exist between minus 1 to 1. And what about that principal value branch? Principal value branch of secant. So this is same as cos 0 comma pi, but exclude pi by 2. Is it clear? Other than other than 90, because you know at 90, what about secant 90? Undefined. So that I'm eliminating that. So I am restricted the domain, and just I'm taking the domain as finite values. So then cosecant inverse of x is from same r minus 1 comma 1. Then what about here? Closed interval minus 90 to 90 other than 0. See, sine its reciprocal cosecant will be same, closer, but other than 0, because cosecant 0 is undefined. And next, cos secant reciprocal each other. So same closed interval, but other than 90. And tan cot, so like a sine cos. Okay, you have to remember all this principal value branch. PVB, the range of principal value branch. Okay.
Sir, where we will use this principal value, sir?
Yes.
Sir, where will we use the principal value, sir?
Yeah, that I am going to explain you. To define the inverse function, the principal value branch is very, very important. Principal value branch, in which branch the inverse is exist. In which branch the inverse is exist, then that branch, many branches are there, many branches, like see here, sine not only minus 92 plus 90. This is just one branch. You can take 90 to 270. Sine inverse exists. 270 to 450. Sine inverse exists. Like that, how many branches are there? Infinite branches are there. Among that, I'm taking, this is the branch I'm considering as principal value branch. Nothing but many questions are there in that. Clearly they are asking in NCERT, find the principal value branch of sine inverse of something they'll ask. Let's see now exercises. Okay. So everyone must remember principal value branch. Without principal value branch, there is no inverse trigonometric function. You must remember, you must remember. Sometimes you may forget the domain, but for range nothing but principal value branch, you must be remember for each and every functions. Okay, right. For example, see here, let us see some exam exercise. Uh, right. Secant, cosecant, and cot inverse also. That is also, you can try the graph or graphical representation. Secant, for example, your wish, you can take any function like secant x, secant x. So what is the graphical representation of secant x? Yes, graphical representation of secant x. So we are getting like this. Here this is clearly minus 92 plus 90. This is and 92, 270. This is clearly, this is minus 1, it is plus 1. So the graph we will get like this at 180. So same here also. So one is upside, like actually if you draw the cos graph, then cosecant becomes very easy. That I told you, like this is the cos. So this is cos. What about secant? Secant in the sense like this. Here, okay. Here upside. Here it is downside. So after draw the graph of cos, just you can draw these loops of secant x opposite. Here it is down, it is like, so here up. So you can remove this cos graph. This is the graphical representation of secant. Secant. In the same way, cosecant. If you want to draw the graph of cosecant, you can draw the graph of sine. After that, you can draw the loop wherever this corner, like at this corner point, you can draw downside. So look at here. The secant doesn't exist between 1 to minus 1. Does not exist. So sine and cos only exist between minus 1 to 1. Right? And next, after lunch, sixth period again maths. Everyone should remember mathematics class. Okay. Next. So why I started inverse trigonometry as for the master D schedule after matrices and determinant, inverse trigonometry is there, right? Okay, fine. So what about the first question here? Page number 41, exercise 2.1. All are very easy questions. Okay, they are asking find the principal value of the following. Principal value of the following. So what is the first question? Sine inverse of minus 1 by 2. Find the principal values of the following. The first question is sine inverse minus 1 by 2. Yeah, can you able to see the screen? Students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Not here. I open new tab here, like a mathematics, like matrices, sorry, inverse trigonometric first exercise 2.1. Okay, no problem. I hope that everyone having a textbook. Sine inverse of minus 1 by 2. Okay, how to find the principal value branch? First, the question is belongs to sine inverse. So what is the principal value branch of sine inverse? The first question means range of sine inverse minus 90 to 90. See here, right. So let us take to find principal value branch, it is equating to y, which implies sine y is equal to minus 1 by 2. Am I right? So minus 1 by 2 means minus 1 by 2 means sine of what value becomes 1 by 2? Sine 30 or sine 60? Anyone? 1 by 2 value is
30.
Yes.
Sin 30. 9.
Sine pi by 6. Yes or no? Sine 30 is 1 by 2 minus as it is. Since we know that there is a property like sine of minus theta is equal to minus sine theta. It is same as minus sine theta. Shall I write minus of sine pi by 6 as sine of minus pi by 6 by applying this property? It is in the form of minus sine theta. It can be written as sine of minus theta. Okay. So now you can, what will you do? Now you can cancel this y. Y is equal to minus pi by 6. Now, first of all, you should know about what is the principal value branch of sine inverse. So here we know that the range of principal value branch of, yes, principal value branch of what? Sine inverse. Sine inverse is from where to where? Minus 90. Okay, this is the principal value branch of sine inverse. So now is this value is y is equal to minus 5 by 6 is belongs to uh, this interval or not? Yes, is it belongs to given interval?
Yes, sir.
So clearly minus pi by 6 is belongs to this interval. If it is not belongs to this interval, it is not a value, principal value. Therefore, the principal value is minus pi by 6. Whatever the result is come, like that is the correct answer. That is the principal value of the given sine inverse. Therefore, the principal value of sine inverse, value of you can write like this, sine inverse of minus 1 by 2 is minus pi by 6. In case this value is not belongs to the given interval, now you can change to the theta value. Okay, we will change the theta value, right? Now let us see that second question. Any doubt? Just find the like theta value. That's it. Remember principal value branch and find that corresponding value. What is sine inverse of minus 1 by 2? That value we need to find. Okay. Then what about the second question? Cos inverse of root 3 by 2. We can say very easily. For what value of theta is it is root 3 by 2? Yes, anyone? Cos inverse of root 3 by 2. For what value of theta it is root 3 by 2? Cos 30
30.
or 45 or 60. If it is objective question, we can say directly within 2 seconds. So let us take y is equal to this value cos inverse of root 3 by 2. So then cos y is equal to root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 nothing but cos of, yes, pi
5
by
by 6.
pi by 6 again. Now if we cancel this both side, then y is equal to pi by 6. What is the principal value branch of cos inverse? Yes, 0 to pi. Is this belongs to 0 to pi closed interval? Anyone?
Yes,
Can
sir.
anyone say that? Is it belongs to? Yes, clearly that value belongs to the given principle. So you should not write directly here. You should write one step here. After getting y value, we know that the principal value branch of cos inverse is closed interval 0 to comma 5. So clearly this y is equal to pi by 6 is belongs to. So that directly I have written this step. So you should write this line in NCERT alone. So now, therefore, principal, the principal value of cos inverse root 3 by 2 is pi by 6. That's it. Simple. The third question is cosecant inverse of to anyone answer within 2 seconds. Can anyone for what value of theta? This will be 2.
5/6.
Yes.
5/6.
Yeah, pi by 6 is pi by 6 is belongs to. So what about the principal value branch of cosecant inverse? Yes. What is the
Minus
principal
5/6.
value branch of cosecant? Same sine inverse minus 90 to 90 other than 0. So now is it belongs to given interval or not? Easily. So what is the principal value branch of cosecant inverse of 2? 5 by 6. That's it. Fourth, fifth, sixth, they given some negative values. So that is, let us see in after lunch. Let us see